Welcome back, everybody. We've really been raising the alarm bell on this channel as far as cost of living and the prices going up, especially regarding the tariffs. Having anything between a 15 to 50 to 100% tariff on goods coming into the United States, you've argued it's going to have a detrimental impact to the normal American consumer, to the working class, pretty much throughout every industry, because every industry in America does depend on international products and international trade. This isn't something you can argue. You can't say, no, we don't. We can make all these things in America, because it's either we don't have the infrastructure, so we can't make them, or they're so expensive to buy these American products that it prices out most people. So when the tariffs came in, we're told that the participation in international trade for the American consumer just is not in their best interest anymore. In fact, it's going to cost them more. They have to buy American goods. This is a kind of extortion that's been done on the American people. But the president came out on Truth Social yesterday and really did confirm kind of deepest fears as far as this channel goes. And I want you to understand exactly what this means, because it's really giving a picture as to what the perspective looks like from the other side. You know, the pro-tariff, pro-trade war, pro-isolation side, and really does kind of ignore or look past the consequences to the average American consumer. So let's have a look. Again, this is a post that came out yesterday from Donald Trump on Truth Social. Despite the massive amount of money being made by the United States of America, hundreds of billions of dollars as a direct result of tariffs being charged to other countries, the full benefit of the tariffs has not yet been calculated, in that many of the buyers of goods and products, in order to avoid paying the tariffs in the short term, stock up by purchasing far more inventory than they can use. This is something we know. When the threat of tariffs first came up, a lot of these big buyers, the big box stores, the Walmarts, the Targets, the Costcos, and even industrial suppliers that supply a lot of machinery to industries all throughout the United States, including agriculture, bought up an enormous amount of inventory that has lasted them pretty much to this point. And that has really led to the American people avoiding most of the impacts of the tariffs thus far. That heavy inventory purchase is now, however, wearing thin, as soon tariffs will be paid on everything they apply to without avoidance, and the amounts payable to the USA will skyrocket. Over and above the already historic level of dollars received, these payments will be record-setting and put our nation on a new and unprecedented course. We have to stop there. The American people, the burden of these tariffs is 55%. 55% of the tariff cost is already being carried on the backs of the American consumer, the working class, the middle class, the working poor. That's not small change. That's thousands of dollars that are put on top of budgets that are already spread thin in the cost of living crisis that most Americans are experiencing right now. We've talked about the K-shaped recovery, and that's important because although we think of it as two equal legs going up, the fact is that upward leg in the K-shaped recovery is itself very thin, because it's a very small part of the population. At max, maybe up to 20% that is actually doing well in this country right now under the current economy. But the other 80% of people are on that bottom leg, where the suffering isn't just a kind of a steady constant, it's becoming increasingly dire. And the language in this post itself says that that consequence is being ignored. The plight of the American people, the 80% of the American people, is being ignored. You can talk about America being the hottest economy that's out there right now, but it's only the hottest economy for the 20%. We're already the hottest country anywhere in the world, but this tariff power will bring American national security and wealth, the likes of which has never been seen before. Those opposing us are serving the hostile foreign interests that are not aligned with the success, safety, and prosperity of the United States of America. They couldn't care less about us. I look so much forward to the United States Supreme Court's decision on this urgent and time-sensitive matter in the uninterrupted manner to make America great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. It's generally accepted at this point by anyone who's in the working class, anyone who actually looks into these matters, anyone who actually has to worry about the daily household budget, that these tariffs are just an unsupported, unconstitutional tax being placed on the American people to increase their suffering and desperation during a time of objective desperation. Because we have to ask ourselves, where is this money going? Because it's not paying down the national debt. It's not going towards the social safety net, because that's being cut away with. And at the same time as this is happening, we've still had no answer on the Affordable Care Act subsidies being extended, which means that mid-December, before the holidays actually hit, millions and millions of Americans are going to see their insurance payments that they pay every month double or triple. Like we've seen in some videos before, some people going from $300 a month to $1,200 a month. People going from $800 a month to $2,400 a month. In a time right now where people are just barely getting by, that is an insurmountable amount of money that most people have to pay just to maintain the household. Not to better themselves, not to save, but just to exist. And the kind of pressure that leaves on the people, a continuous pressure, ever increasing as the cost of things go up, as we're promised to see them now. Because you're saying that inventory is wearing thin, and then what that means is that those costs of tariffs are going to be pushed on full force to the American people. If we've only seen a fraction of the consequence, and that inventory is worn thin, that means the full brunt force of the increase of cost throughout every sector of the economy is about to hit us. And it's hitting us at a time where the cost of everything is going up. You cannot tell me that this economy works for the people, that the United States of America that he talks about is the people. The United States of America that he talks about in this post is the 20% that is on the up leg of that K-shaped recovery. It is not for me. It is not for you. It is not for the people, and it is not in the best interest of the people. And to say that any dejectors of the tariff strategy are just supporting foreign interest, then I ask you, who are the foreign interests? Are the foreign interests the American people? Because that's what it seems to be. Because the majority of the American people right now, after being polled, do not support the tariffs. They understand that things are getting more expensive. Consumer spending is at an all-time low. Consumer sentiment is at an all-time low, but the stock market is doing great. So we have two parallel realities in the United States right now, but only one is being represented and supported. The interest of one is being pushed forward, while the interest and security of the other, the 80%, is being thrown to the wayside. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get bad. This economy is cratering. I don't care about the stock market, because the stock market isn't a reflection of the reality that the people in America actually live in. The amount of foreclosures that we're seeing in the home market skyrocketing. The amount of repossessions of vehicles skyrocketing. Right now, we're seeing the cost of utilities, because of AI warehouses being put up all over the country, are leading to skyrocketing rates of electricity being shut off for American people during the time when winter is hitting. And who is that hitting the most? The Midwest, the constituency of President Donald J. Trump. The average increase in utility bills over this year since January has been 11%, but in some states it has gone up over 40%. And in these red states, in these states in the Midwest, these are places that have the lowest incomes. These are places that have the dependency on the social safety net, on food banks, on food stamps, on EBT, on SNAP. This is ignoring the constituency, but at the same time, the constituency does not see through it. And we can sit back and say, well, you get what you deserve, but this has an impact on everybody. And this isn't what people truly voted for. In principle, yes, it is. People supported tariffs because they were told that it was going to have an impact that it's just not having right now. The consequences of the tariffs are eating away at the personal lives of people in the United States. It's not helping them build. It's not helping them support. Like I said, this whole agenda, the agenda and focus on the trade war, the focus on isolating ourselves from the global market, of militarizing ourselves and increased spending on the things that don't actually help the American people, is causing damage to the American people. And to point it out isn't sedition. To point it out isn't treason. To point it out isn't supporting the interest of foreign adversaries. To point it out is to highlight the deception that has been placed on the American people and the burden that they have to pay for the denial of reality that the leaders of this country continue to perpetuate. If you're still here at this point, ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe. Think about becoming a member. Tell me what you think in the comment sections. This is coming from the horse's mouth here, right? We've been saying for a long time that, the inventory that a lot of these companies bought up is really held off the price hikes that we knew that we were going to see at the stores. We know that the impacts of this are going to be far-reaching, and they already have been. We've been talking a lot about the agricultural sector and rural communities, farmers and such on this channel. In complaints from them that any replacements that they need, and all replacements pretty much come from overseas, the wait list being months and months and months, or the prices have gone up so much that it hurts the bottom line of these people. And we're seeing rapid foreclosures all throughout the agricultural sector in America right now. The fact is, this is hurting everybody, whether you're on the left or right. And as much as we think that things are expensive right now, it's going to get worse. The economy is collapsing for the normal American, and the prices that we're going to see at the stores in the coming future are going to outpace reality, the reality of survival in America. Prepare yourselves now, ladies and gentlemen. That's the best thing that I can say. Stock up while you can on shelf-stable, dry goods, canned food. Make sure you have plenty of water. Do what you can to decrease your utility bills as much as you can. It's wintertime and you're in a cold place. Make sure you're putting clear wrap over your windows to try to insulate it as much as possible to lower that bill. If you're in a place where the food pantries are already stressed out, understand that that's a resource that will likely not be there in the coming future. So do what you can. Be prudent and act with the diligence necessary of the times to prepare yourself now. Preparation for hard times should become an essential aspect of our budgeting plans at this point, because there's no hint of change of policy coming in the future. Tell me what you think, guys, because this is looking really bad to me. This isn't good. And this confirms a lot of the fears that we had on this channel. So with that said, stay safe out there, have each other's backs, do what you have to do, get prepared, and try to have a good one. Take care.